us, especially urban people, that if we would read and react and visualize everything we read and see, and all this information we get, we'd be out of business very quick. It's not possible to have it. So for me, this text is it's competing with the image. It both goes together with the sound, with the the feeling of a crucial moment. But it also is something that you could that could distract you from the picture. And it also works together with the gold leaf I use for making the letters on top. Because to put gold, metal on top, to put gold on top, it's actually censors what's underneath. And the gold is really a mirror to the viewed reality, the viewer's reality, the room. You can see yourself in this metal, this shiny metal, but it also censors and hides what's beneath. And you really came here to see painted reality. And I worked with lights, with the light, the same thing with the light in the galleries that, or wherever the art piece hangs. The light on a glossy image, the light could be set, mostly it's set so that it reveals the picture, because in darkness you wouldn't see it. But you could also set the light to conceal the image, because it's glossy. And if you want to see go into that reality or painted reality, you really have to move around to catch the whole picture. And that's returned to Daisy and the other artworks I have here, is that you really have to move with them to look into one, and then you look into the other one and another one, according to how the light is put on. So it really becomes architectural. It has architectural values, and this piece can enhance people to move, can
stimulate people.
Thank you. Stimulate them to move in an area. Going back to my bronze tiles, that's the same thing. If you walk on a square with a lot of bronze tiles, they're shiny. You move on this square, and you can see the glittering effect in the bronze tiles, which tells you where the sun is, or whatever lights the bronze, and where you go. It's like rowing a boat and having the glittering from the sun and the water as companions. You can see yourself move, and so it gives a great presence to where you are in a three-dimensional room. So if you talk about art being two-dimensional, yes, it is. But I like to do the third. I like to use the third. It's a very tiny difference of the third dimension in my paintings. But this tiny bit gives the whole painting to look transparent, to look see-through. People describe it as being something inside a glass volume, or an ice, under the ice, or in the water. And it looks see-through, but it's really opaque pigments. But the light is three-dimensional, because it comes from the sun or the lamps and it hits your eye. And that's the volume you see, not this tiny, small difference of valleys that get shadowy, and the high points that gets glossy by the glossy oil paint and the light reflecting upon it. So it's very relative. What's small, what's thick. If you have a difference, that difference could be seen very, very different with other means of exposing it.
I like the idea of using the gold, which is in itself a precious substance, to actually conceal part of the painting, or to be an otherwise distraction. Because, if we're all distracted by gold.
Yes, we are.
Always, constantly.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of sort of a little microcosm of the way we lead our lives. Because we're constantly letting ourselves be distracted by the sound of wealth or a manna, and going for the manna, for the shiny, and forsaking what is real, or what is more real, or what is more important behind. So we let the manna conceal. We use it as a screen to conceal from others what our real selves are. Interesting.
It can be such a concealment that some people think that to imagine or to think is something you do only with words, or you can do it only in black and white or something. And it seems to be a great loss that you cannot think in pictures and in silence, or even stop thinking. To me, it's amazing that you can live a life, but not being able to stop to think. It's very natural to me, and it's a rest, because if like this moment when I should talk about my art, I have to be at a certain conscious level where I put my effort on being verbal, with some look or not, but my efforts are there, but I can change efforts, not to think, also, and it's very natural. So what I want, to some degree, looking at my painting, I want my paintings to stimulate the fact that you can stop thinking when you see my paintings, to rest in them, like you're having a bath, you relax, or a sauna for that matter. You relax, and you don't have to think, you don't have to deal. I think that's very many people like sports or jog, because you don't have to think, and you get very rested. So this is not obstacle then in the painting, yes. I must tell you also, when I do this work, I put this letter on with gold leaf. I put the whole sheet of gold leaf here, usually about this size, and then I press the letters, and they stick on this almost dry oil paint. So I don't put another glue on there. I just press it, and it sticks on this almost dry oil paint. And then I have to reach this effect of this faded letter B, I have to take my vacuum cleaner and suck almost all of the gold from this gold leaf away, and create waste, waste made by gold. Am I allowed really to do that? I was thinking about the first time I did it. Can I really do, can someone turn gold into waste? Evidently, yes. Because everything eventually will be waste, and then go back to nature, and through the state of being waste, it will eventually go back to nature if it's not reused. And then you get a location made up from this waste, and this is the way I started to make my landscape from an intellectual level. I want to make my landscapes, which we can shift focus on to now. And there are some pigments that we call earth colors, and they're named, excuse me, they're named that because you put up the dirt from the nice red dirt from Oklahoma, and you blended it with the binder oil for this painting. And you mix it, and then the oil dries, and you have a paint. You have a dried paint. And so the earth pigments are named. The famous earth pigments are named from the place where it had a certain color of the earth. So we have sienna. We have sienna red. It looks, it looks fairly like Oklahoma red. And there's a lot of other ones, cypress, and I have the. When I think about it, most of the European paints. That's why I use European colors. I'm sure you have other earth pigments here that you use here, ochres and so on. And this led me to, with the idea of everything going to waste and then turning back into nature again, and also having pigments named from a special place. I made all these landscapes which are named Pigment View Hanoi Asumeti. It's both a place and a pigment. And this painting is as real as any other artifact that represents Hanoi. Most of those artifacts are probably in Hanoi. But it's a city, and we have made the city. It's an artifact.
Interesting. So when you did this series of 18 paintings, 17 paintings.
Yes.
You used. What was the genesis for that? What gave you the idea?
It was the ideas that I had the ideas after I made a testing of a new brand of colors.
A new brand, like a new company making colors.
50 different tubes, of certain pigments. And I want to see how they work, since I want to try them and see what qualities they have. And so what I do is that I ordinary test. You put up the pure pigment with a knife and fill up the whole lower part here, and take away the rest of the paint, and then scraping it up to see how transparent it is. You can see the gesso from you can see the linen knots here, and you scrape it up and see how transparent or how opaque it is, like that. And then you take the other part and you put half of the pure pigment paint and mix it with as much white, zinc white. So you get half